I'm a mama's boy. But that's not stopping me from taking my girlfriend's side because it's getting ridiculous. I took my girlfriend to a holiday event party with my family, and it's just because my girlfriend is a different ethnicity. My mom's not feeling comfortable with it, but she needs to wake up. We're not living in hundreds of years ago. Come on. This is what she said to me, and it's starting to make me realize I need separation from my mom. I'm in the position that every man dreads between two women that I love. One is my mom, and the other is the love of my life. They're both fighting, and I don't know what to do. I've investigated and figured out who's in the wrong, but telling her the truth has not gone over so well. I really want the two of them to get along again, but I'm unsure how to make it happen, and I could really use some advice on this matter. To start off, let me introduce myself. I'm 31, and I'm in a relationship with a beautiful, smart woman named Hannah. Hannah's doing her PhD in chemical engineering while I work in supply chain management. I make a very good amount of money, but I'm frugal in my spending. Until I met my girlfriend. I would only spend money on my family, not myself, and this will come in handy later. Hannah's Chinese and has only been in my country for 5 years. She studied in many different countries since she started college and is very smart. Her name is not really Hannah, but she prefers to go by Hannah. I prefer her Chinese name, but she prefers Hannah, so I call her that. We've been dating for 2.5 years now, but I only introduced her to my family a year ago. I wanted to introduce her because of my mom. My mom's disliked the majority of my ex-girlfriends. I'll admit that I'm a bit of a mommy's boy, but I'm trying hard to get out of it. I was very nervous about introducing Hannah to my mom. But it turns out that I had no need to worry at all. My mother was impressed by how smart and respectful Hannah was, and she preferred her to my other exes. Hannah and my mom have maintained a good relationship over the past couple of months. In addition, my mother has stopped being overbearing. I saw this as a good sign that she was finally learning to let go, and it was all because of Hannah. A couple weeks ago, we were having dinner with my parents when Mother announced that it was time for her to start planning Christmas. One thing I'll tell you is that my mom plans the biggest Christmas ever, and it's not a joke. Some of you might think that you know someone who's crazy about the holidays, but my mom is worse. Christmas lasts at least 6 days in our household. Every single year, she makes it bigger and bigger. I met my dad, and my siblings are already sick of it, but we participate just to make her happy. One year, my sister dared to say anything, and it was the worst Christmas ever. Mom decided that none of us were going to get our parents to give us presents, since we hated Christmas so much. She eventually gave us the presents when we went back to school, but that was not fun. The general rule is that once the 40 nights of Christmas, as my sister Lola calls it, start, you should always do as Mother says. During that dinner, my mom complained about how she had many more guests this year, and her work was cut out for her. I had a premonition that Hannah was going to volunteer, and before I could stop her, she did. Hannah's an overachiever, and very hardworking. While the rest of us have a 24-hour day, she has a 30-day. I don't even know how she finds time to do half the things that she does, but that's what makes me love her even more. She's a force to be reckoned with, and she amazes me every day. But even a force can be burnt out. It's happened to her 2 times in the time that we've dated. Each time, she's promised to take it easy. And she does before things start to pile up. I know that now is a very important time for her studies, so I did not want her to get caught up with the 40 nights of Christmas. It was going to be her first Christmas with our family, and I wanted her to enjoy it, not be overwhelmed. I gave her the eye. Trying to warn her not to volunteer, but it was far too late for that. There was no way that I could save her from my mother's dictatorship. I was not a fan of the idea from the start. I even asked my mom to exclude her, but she said that Hannah was already doing such a good job. That was the last that I asked about the planning. I've been minding my own business since, and my father advised me to mind my own business and watch. Sure enough, my mom came complaining to me a couple days ago, saying that she did not want Hannah participating anymore. I asked what the problem was, and she said Hannah hardly spoke in the group chat or responded to time-sensitive messages. I had to remind my mom that I told her how busy Hannah had got, and asked her not to include her in the planning. As usual, my mom heard what she wanted. She told me that she was more than capable of pulling everything off on her own and had only asked Hannah to help as a favor to me. In all honesty, she had no idea how Hannah was even getting a PhD because of, quote, how dumb she was. I was flabbergasted at my mother's sudden change of attitude. I tried to plead with her, but she was relentless. She told me that Hannah was determined to single-handedly ruin Christmas. She then asked if Hannah had even had a Christmas in her life before, which was a very offensive thing for her to ask. I told Mom that I was going to speak to Hannah. It was probably all of a misunderstanding that they could resolve. I felt dread when I confronted Hannah because I knew how desperate she was for my mom to like her. But I had told her not to put too many things on her plate, and now she was struggling. Maybe it was better for her to exit the Christmas planning group and sit it out for the year. When I got home, I asked Hannah how the planning was going, and her response shocked me. She told me that it was going very well, and she could not wait to see the outcome. Well, when I asked her how it was working with my mom, she told me that she enjoyed it. I called her out on the white lie and told her that my mom had spoken to me. Poor Hannah looked crestfallen as she admitted that my mother had said a few words to her early on. She said that she had no idea my mom would come running to me, and she thought that their issue was resolved. I wanted to be fair, so I asked her for her side of the story. According to Hannah, she did everything my mother asked her to do and more. But Mom kept on piling more work on her, and now she could not keep up with her studies, and she, chose to do it. She told my mother this, but my mom called her lazy for not being able to do more. Hannah said that she was, one doing the most in the group, and she did not even have time to respond to the messages because she was busy with arrangements. She really wanted to help my mom, but she was being unreasonable. I know both of them very well, and I know exactly who told the truth. Unfortunately, I had to tell the truth and disappoint one of them. I had 3 of us meet, and I told my mom that she was overworking Hannah. It wasn't fair. If she did not want Hannah's help anymore, it's okay. But she did not have to belittle my girlfriend, and my mom was taken aback because I spoke against her. You could say it was the very first time I did so, and she made sure that I regretted it. That's, I know for sure. Update number 1. 1 week later. Okay, so this is like a very delicate situation, and I need to handle it actually. I mean, I tried, but things still started to feel like they're falling apart. At this point, I don't even know what to do because I'm so shocked about how things turned out. I was still feeling bad about how I hurt my mom's feelings, so I talked to Hannah. Hannah said that I did not have to apologize. She would go and say sorry even though she was not in the wrong. Well, I'd say in addition to that, she was going to excuse herself from the planning committee if that was what my mom wanted. I insisted that I had to be the one to apologize, but she refused. She said it would be better if it came from her. I got my mom to agree to see Hannah, and they had a meeting in my absence. I did not hear anything from either of them the whole day, and Hannah was not answering my messages. I wanted to, go to her house after work to find her in bed crying. She did not want to tell me what had happened, but by the looks of it, it appeared that things had not gone well with my mom. After I got her some water and some ice cream, she finally confided in me about what actually happened. She said that she tried to apologize, but my mom did not want to hear it. She blamed Hannah for the way that I spoke to her. In addition, she said that no matter what Hannah did, I would never love her as much as I loved my mom. She told Hannah that she only had to say one word, and I would dump Hannah like I had dumped my previous girlfriend. She added that Hannah was not special and she was wasting time with me because she was never going to get the ring. My mouth was hanging open by the time Hannah just finished speaking. There was no way that my mom had actually been so rude. Hannah was just trying to make amends, and this is what she did? To make matters worse, she told Hannah to excuse herself from Christmas, since clearly she had no idea what it was. She also told Hannah that she did not fit the picture of our family, and never would, even if she changed her name from her other name to Hannah. I instantly felt bad because I had told my mom about her real name. There was never any malicious intent behind it, I just thought her name was beautiful. Poor Hannah was sobbing, calling herself stupid for ever thinking that my family could accept her just as hers had accepted me. I was truly saddened by this and wanted to wipe away all her tears. This was unfair. Her very traditional Chinese family had welcomed me with open arms despite our cultural differences, while mine had made her cry. It was simply unacceptable, and I was disappointed in my mom. First thing tomorrow, I'm going to have a word with her. I'm not happy with the way that she conducted herself at all. Update number 2, 2 days later. I keep on wanting to write an update, and maybe things will get better, so I don't know, I can just go and settle things, once and for all, but that's not what's going to happen because it's simply not getting better. Things are spiraling out of control, and I had to say things that I did not mean. I didn't know what to do at this point. I feel so lost. I wish that I could go back to that dinner and insist that Hannah should not help my mom. But what would it have helped? Because at the end of the day, my mom would have still shown her true colors. Not only that, she thinks she can control me, but she thinks this little bit about Hannah because of her ethnicity. Poor Hannah has to suffer a lot because of this. These stereotypes because of who she is to the point of changing her name. Just when she felt she was getting accepted, my mother had to go and ruin all of it. I see the way that Hannah retreats into her shell these days. It shows that what my mom did affected her, but I'm going to make her forget all of that. I'm going to fill her life with happy memories from now on. I followed through on what I promised a few days ago, and I visited my mother to tell her that she crossed a line with Hannah. This time I was not going to hold back even if her feelings were hurt. She does not care if Hannah's feelings are hurt, so why must I care about hers? I met her at a neutral location, and I really did not want to go to her house or have her come to my house. She had control at both locations, since I literally allowed her to run my life. My words to her were brief and to the point, and she crossed the line with my girlfriend and was wrong but everything that she said. I loved Hannah. I would not choose my mother over her because of how my mom has been acting. Hannah's been nothing but good to everyone. She's searching for reasons to hate Hannah because she's jealous. I blame myself for not setting boundaries in my relationship with my mother all those years ago. I then told her that in solidarity with Hannah, I was not going to be attending Christmas as well. She could enjoy her day, but I was not going to be a part of it. Her mouth was agape as she tried to protest with me, but I was not done. I told her that I had canceled the $5,000 check I gave her every year for Christmas, and my other siblings contributed money, but they also helped with the preparation. Last year, I gave her $4,500. You might be wondering why I gave her so much, and that's because she got the best of the best. And she also flew in some family members who could not afford to come to the celebration. Now, because of her antics, none of that was going to happen. She turned red right in front of my eyes and immediately told me that I would do no such thing. I reminded her that I would do exactly that, and she could not stop me. After all, I was no longer a child. I was a grown man who could make his decision, and I also told her that if her Christmas shenanigans were going out of hand, and I did not enjoy the day because of how over the top she was, she could live a day without being too much. Maybe I stepped at a line and got personal, but I was tired of her. My poor Hannah was sad because of her, and after saying all that, I told her not to look for me, and then I left. Of course she could not respect my wishes. She starts harassing me, telling me that I had to honor the check, otherwise the day was going to be ruined. I didn't care if her favorite day was ruined. She made Hannah, the strongest person I know, cry, and after seeing that I was not responding to her text, she resorted to actually showing up at my house. But I did not open for her. After she persisted, I told a security and they kicked her out. She's no longer allowed to enter my apartment, and I think that this is it. I'm done with my mother because she has gone too far. Is it because Hannah is Chinese or that she's scared if Hannah will replace her? Whatever it is, she needs to sort out her issues because there's no way that I'm accepting any hatred of Hannah. Update number 3, 2 weeks later. Hey guys, get this. I need to tell you all about this entire update. So, 2 days ago it was Christmas. It was a very quiet day with just me and Hannah, but we had a lot of fun. Usually when the holidays start, I have to stock up on Tylenol because of how stressful it can get. This time it was not stressful at all. I cooked dinner for Hannah for a change, and we bought a small tree, and we spent the day watching Christmas movies. Hannah told me that it was actually her third time celebrating an American Christmas. Last year, she celebrated with her friends while I went to my family. I'm glad that this year we were together. It's the first of many together because there's no way I'm letting that amazing woman go. With that being said, I want to tell you something. I've been thinking about my future with Hannah a lot. She's the most beautiful, smart, intelligent, kind person I know, and I know all those things are cliche, but hear me out. She stimulates me mentally, knows how to take care of me, and is still kicking butt at everything she does. I'm able to be myself around her, and she doesn't force me to do something I'm not. And that's why I want to make her my wife. When I canceled that $5,000 check, I wondered what I could do with the money. I could have invested it, bought more video games, or even some gifts, but I found myself dialing into an international number. Her dad told me that he was actually going to be in the country for a few days before Christmas, and everything happened so quick. But I was able to get her father's blessing and buy her a stunning ring worthy of a queen. I looked as good as I could when I cooked the meal that night on Christmas, and I hid the ring in the dessert. I wish you could have seen the look on her face when I proposed. She had pure joy on her face as she told me yes, yes, yes. She wanted to marry me and start a life together. I had literal tears running down my face, but I said that it was just a trick of the light. I could not believe that she had agreed to marry me. I had used half the money to buy a gorgeous ring, and the rest is going into the wedding fund. We're thinking of getting married next year after she graduates, and her sisters are more than happy to help her with the wedding, so at least she'll not be overwhelmed with studies. I'll also help when I can, but I do not think that I'll be that useful. Yesterday, she was showing me the difference between white and ivory, and I didn't get it at all. Nevertheless, I'm the happiest man on this world. What happened opened my eyes to the truth, which is that Hannah is the woman for me. I nearly lost her because of my mommy and me being a mommy's boy. I always thought that I was not that bad, but now that I look back that it was known to be terrible, I stopped myself from doing a lot of things because I always had to remind her that I need to remain close. I love my mom, but I think this separation will finally do us some good. Final update 2 weeks later. Before I say anything, I just want to say thank you for the congratulations on all of my engagements. Anyways, we could not wait to announce our engagement any longer, so we made a post a day after I updated. Everybody was happy for us, and our phones were buzzing with people wanting to know the details. Hannah also got a lot of compliments on her beautiful ring, which made me even happier. I couldn't believe that we were actually doing it. We were in our own little bubble that we could not burst, or so we thought. There was one person who was not at all happy about the engagement, and of course it was my mom. Since I blocked her and she could not come to my apartment, she showed up at my workplace during lunch. I didn't want to cause a scene since it was the first day of the new year, so I gave her 15 minutes to talk. Those were the longest 15 minutes of my life. Basically, without me and Hannah, her Christmas fell flat and she had to cut it short. Apparently, she was very embarrassed and disappointed that I had allowed such a thing to happen to her. She then said that she could not believe that I proposed without telling her. I asked her if she was shocked because I did not consult her, or if it's because she thought that I would never marry Hannah. Mother was so confident in her ability to control me that she told Hannah to her face. What she did not know was that I wanted to propose after Hannah's graduation. However, my mom's stunt made me realize that I did not need to wait. I could proclaim my love for Hannah for the whole world to see. I told my mother that Hannah made me happy and I hated how unaccepting my mom was. My mom then said that she thought that it was just a short relationship. She begged me to reconsider because we were different cultures. I laughed as I reminded my mother what century she's in. It did not matter if Hannah was white, Chinese, black, or an alien. I loved her a lot, and we shared a lot of similar values. Hannah could have been a good daughter-in-law, but she ruined it. Before I left, I warned my mom to not show up at my wedding. My siblings and my father are invited to the wedding because they've been since, nice to Hannah. She's not going to forget that, and I did forget to mention, but over the past couple of weeks, my siblings have actually been speaking up for Hannah. They also wanted to skip Christmas because I told them to go. I did not want to give my mom any more reason to hate on Hannah. What would you do?